Within the advertising agency, the account planner is the person that develops the overall advertising strategy for a particular client's product. Now, the way that the planner does this is by commissioning and coordinating a lot of research to be done on the intended product that's going to be advertised, and the feelings of a target group about that consumer product. The goal of this research is to figure out how to best advertise towards or to an intended group to promote sales, right? So, for instance, in this market research that might rely on surveys, right? The research may ask people, well, what do you think about this product? What are attributes of the product that you like or don't like? Or how do you emotionally respond to the product, all right? And then on the basis of the results of this survey research, the agency then can then create a advertising campaign that addresses some of these insights. So, for instance, let's say that the client for an ad agency is Ford, and Ford wants to advertise a new truck, right? That it's coming out with. And it wants the ad agency to put together a really successful campaign that's going to really increase sales of that truck. All right, so the agency might conduct a lot of market research about people's views about Ford and Ford trucks more specifically, and that research will focus more specifically on particular groups of people in society that might be more likely to buy Ford trucks. So the research might ask people, so what do you think about Ford trucks? What do you like about them? What concerns do you have? And so on. And let's say that as a result of this research, the researchers find that a lot of people have questions about the reliability of Fords more generally, and they worry about really high repair bills down the road for Ford trucks. All right, so the advertising agency would then incorporate some of those results into its advertising campaign. So if people are worried about Ford trucks breaking down or costing a lot in repair bills, well, the campaign then may address those concerns by really playing up the reliability and dependability of Ford trucks. Now, this research that is done relies on a number of methods that your book talks about. Just want to briefly mention a few of these here. The survey research takes into account demographics. That is, what is the social background of an intended consumer group for a particular product, right? Demographics looks at people in terms of social factors like age, gender, race, nationality, income group, education level, and so on. So a survey research might examine things like, all right, for an intended product like a Starbucks latte, what demographic groups would that product appeal more to, and how can we reach that particular group, right? So the survey research is examining demographic factors. More interestingly, this survey research also examines people in terms of what is called as psychographics, right? This research examines not just the social factors or background of intended consumer groups, but psychographics gets into the values and views of a particular person. Are they more rural or urban? Are they more liberal or conservative? Are they more of an introvert or an extrovert? All right, so the research here takes into account those more subjective aspects of a person's background, their worldview, their ideas, and so on. A lot of this research is conducted using focus groups, all right? That's a research methodology where a researcher will conduct interviews with small groups of people. Maybe, 6 or 8 people will be gathered in a room, and then a moderator will ask a lot of probing questions about a particular product, right? So going back to our example of the Ford truck, focus group research on that Ford truck might involve the moderator asking the participants in the focus group lots of questions about their experience with Fords. Have you purchased a Ford before? What do you think about it? Would you consider buying a Ford truck? Why or why not? And so on, right? And another factor that this research takes into account is what's called the values and lifestyles matrix, which is a way in which advertisers assess the worldview and values of a particular intended target consumer group for a product. All right, so this is very interesting. This values and lifestyles index breaks down people into particular groups based on their overall values and orientation. So for instance, one group is labeled thinkers, all right? That's a group of people that are really interested in exploring ideas and, doing lots of research and education and so forth. All right, so these market researchers argue that we can understand more about people by classifying them according to this values and lifestyles index. It's not science, but it argues that most people, most Americans, fall into one of these categories. Take a look at this list of different groups in this values and lifestyles strategy chart. See which one you think you most resemble. Another major part of advertising agencies is creative development. This is the part of the agency that is responsible for coming up with the ideas and concepts for ads. People in this department are basically writers and artists, graphic designers that come up with the initial idea for an ad and then develop proposals and drafts for how the ad would look like. So for instance, for proposed TV commercials, writers and artists might develop a storyboard for the commercial that shows us what the commercial would look like, almost like in a comic book type format with lots of different panels. The writers and artists in creative development also develop ads for new media. The creative development people might come up with ideas for websites devoted to a particular product, or viral marketing, where the creative people might produce a short video featuring a product and then try to get that video distributed online to create some buzz about the product. Now, what's interesting is that for the ad agency as a whole, there's a certain degree of tension between the creative side of the agency, all right, where these writers and artists will come up with what they see as really kind of interesting, innovative ideas for ads that draw upon their own kind of creative background, all right? But then sometimes they will come into conflict and clash with people on the business side of the agency that have financial concerns about the cost of the campaign or how effective the proposed campaign by the creative people will actually be. The creative people might also come into conflict with people at the agency that do a lot of market research, all right, so that the creative people might think, wow, I've got this nifty new idea for a TV commercial that will really get young people interested in our particular product. But then the market research people might say, all right, well, we've done research on this product, and what you're proposing for your ad is not going to address these concerns that we found out in our focus group research. All right, so a lot of conflicts here and struggle between the creative, business, and research people in the agency itself, and so the advertising campaign or ad that ultimately gets produced comes about as a result of lots of intense conversations and debate among these various players in the ad agency. Now, of course, there is no surefire formula for success in these ad campaigns. No one at the ad agency can be certain that the ad campaign or the ad that they produce is going to be successful or effective. And of course, the way that the success of an ad campaign is measured is in terms of does it increase sales of the consumer product that's featured in the advertising campaign. Now, I think if you look around and think about ads that you've seen, you might be able to point to ads that you think are particularly creative and interesting and successful, and others that are not. For myself, it seems as though ads featuring Apple products are pretty innovative. They're very successful in terms of creating a certain image for Apple products, as being hip, stylish, sleek, youthful, and you see these kinds of themes in ads for the iPad, iPod, iPhone, and so on. Now, this is pretty subjective, but for myself, one ad campaign that seems to be a real loser is the campaign for Microsoft products, in particular Microsoft's search engine Bing, all right, and also ads for Microsoft's new operating system that everybody just loves. It seems like that these ads for Bing and Microsoft's operating system, that they try to convey this impression of these products being really hip and young and innovative, but the ads just really seem to come across as foolish and as this corporation trying to project an image of cool and hipness when it's abysmally failing at the attempt. So I don't know what you think, but that's my initial feedback to the ads for Bing.